under Ragnick, a lot of this is going to change. We're going to have an identity. We're going to have a proper scouting network. We're going to see youngsters stepping into the squads, youngsters with good footballing IQ, such as Garner, such as Levitt, such as Mejbri. And, Hoffenheim, his tenure in Hoffenheim, if you look at that, he got to the 2011 semi-finals of the UCL. That's a big ask. All right. He got Hoffenheim, he got Stuttgart competing, he got Schalke competing. All right.
He joined Hoffenheim at 2006-7 season. At that time, they were in Bundesliga. They were in Tier 3. He brought them in Tier 2 within the next season, 7-8 season. They finished second in that season. And the very next season, they were promoted to Bundesliga. So within 3 to 4 seasons, he brought them from Tier 3 to Tier 1. That is a huge achievement as a manager who didn't have much kind of experience, or with a team that was in Tier 3, bringing them to Tier 1 to Bundesliga within 3 years is a huge achievement by Ralf.
It's a trend that you will see across all the clubs that Ralf Rangnick has managed, right? So he has started his managerial career with the 6th division league in Germany, if you don't know. When he was just 25 years. Yeah. So he was kind of able to give them promotions back to back.
Right. Leipzig came second in Bundesliga for their 16-17 season. That is like in next 4 years. So they went from Tier 3 to Tier 2 to Tier 1. And even came second in the Tier 1 within 4 years. His performance as a consultant, as a director of football is extraordinary. That is something I'm way more excited than the interim management role.
He's a guy who actually kind of demands control across all the things that he's there, right? So one of the very first conditions that he put forward to the United board was as well that I need control. He wanted to be more managerial rule and probably control the entire footballing side of things, because he knows what kind of potential he has, and he has already proven results. But
we can see that his scouting network is one of the best across Europe. If you look at the kind of deals he's done, if you look at the kind of youngsters he's discovered, Joshua Kimmich, Serge Gnabry, you look at Timo Werner as well at Stuttgart, as well as at if you look at him in Leipzig. If you look at him under Ralf, he was amazing. He was brilliant, all right? He was scoring goals. He was confident. He was scoring. So, he's created these youngsters, and he got Konate on a free.
Sadio Mane.
He signed. Yeah, Sadio Mane he signed, all right? He's discovered gems of players. Dayo Upamecano right now in Leipzig and right now playing for home. Additionally, he even has an eye for good managers. Julian Nagelsmann, Thomas Tuchel. These are the managers that he's given a chance, right? For Leipzig's setup, Julian Nagelsmann was handpicked by Ralf Rangnick. If you look at that.
And he was very young to coach a team like Leipzig. But
exactly, he's still in his 30s.
There's just one concern, right? Nagelsmann already had proved his worth at Hoffenheim earlier. He had been managing them quite really well. Kind of like how Eddie Howe had performed for Bournemouth over a period of 4 to 5 years when they were in Premier League. Julian Nagelsmann is kind of the same figure in the German football, right? So I'm not really sure on that front. Like, he has a good eye for the managers, but definitely for the players, I can definitely vouch for. Timo Werner, I believe I was researching for this video. He was one of his fans, and probably the entire Leipzig team who came in second were handpicked by him only, right? So he was the guy
he got Christopher Nkunku, who's right now killing it in the Bundesliga. He got him on a free from the PSG academy. PSG's academy right now. He has an eye for. Yeah.
So I have this one concern, which I believe a lot of Manchester United fans and a lot of critics of his have also pointed out, right? So all the teams that he has managed so far have been, either underperformers or who are in the leagues below, right? He has given them that kind of reach, but he has never managed a big team. That is one of the biggest criticisms of his career till now. He has never managed big name players, although his understudy Thomas Tuchel, we already know he has been managing. He managed at PSG, he managed Dortmund, quite a big name players. Obviously, if his understudy can perform, you would expect him to perform as well. But there's
But
still
if you
this
look
kind
at
of a dilemma in a lot of Manchester United fans, right? That how good will he be managing big name players like Ronaldo, like Pogba, like Bruno Fernandes, like this?
If I may address this, Ragnick, I believe that Ragnick's philosophy clearly tells us one thing, that the club comes before anything else, right? So I believe that irrespective of the players that we have, or irrespective of anything that goes behind the scenes, Ragnick will be successful at creating a very good structure. Because if you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, he sold David Beckham, he sold Cristiano Ronaldo, and he still competed with the best of the best, and he came out on top. Why is that? Because Sir Alex Ferguson put the club at first, right? So for the time being, what we need to know is that we may have the best squad in the entire league, yet if we do not have the mentality to put the club first or to go out and win, and yes, exactly the concept, first seed, you cannot expect us to be winning even with Cristiano Ronaldo. All right. And if you had Dan James giving all he had in his locker for us, but if he's filling his role, we might be winning the league with him. So that all it depends on the players giving it all. And Ragnick, as a man, as you already know, the Manchester United board is one of the worst ones I've seen, and we all can agree on that. And you know that if he can get his demands fulfilled by Manchester United's board, the players will give their all, especially seeing that he is able to take out the best of the players he has on his disposal, right? You can look at Marcel Sabitzer, you can look at Timo Werner, pressing forwards. Timo Werner, very good place, used him as a pressing forward, and he came out on top, all right? Players that have a good physical attribute. He's not played just one system or a robust system. He's always looked for different systems to fit the players.
Since we are talking about his managerial point of view, Ralf is a kind of manager who always adapts his formation according to his players. If you look at his Hoffenheim session, he used to play 4-3-3. He played 4-2-2-2 at Leipzig with two attacking midfielders. So he always adapts with the kind of player he has, and I believe that he can do a similar thing at United. We have good quality players, and Ralf can surely adapt a formation around those players. So if you look at since he mentioned about Timo Werner. I believe that Rashford or Greenwood can have a similar kind of role that Timo Werner did. Probably Rashford even more suited than Greenwood, but yeah, those two can have a similar kind of role that Timo Werner did at Leipzig. We can have Bruno and Sancho as the two attacking midfielders. So that is something that I don't really. It does come as a thought that he has not managed big teams and big players. But then, if you look at his managerial career, he has adapted from team by team. So I don't think he'll exactly suffer in that way.
So speaking on that front, then let's speak a bit about how Ralf may go ahead and structure the United's team's playing 11, especially. So as you guys already mentioned, he actually adapts to the kind of players that he has inside his team and goes ahead and makes a plan accordingly, right? We already have quite a decent pool of players, especially that can be really useful with the gegenpressing style of play that he's kind of made his own, and he was the kind of the inventor of us. At top of my mind, what comes in is like, we have been criticizing Fred a lot under Ole, right? The entire McFred combination. But if you just kind of imagine the McFred pivot playing under Ralf Rangnick, especially in the gegenpressing role, I feel Fred especially would come out to be a really, really great player. Kind of really useful, because he has that kind of ability to go ahead and press. He already does that. He has the ability to pass the ball quickly around. Compared to McTominay, he can do a really good job. So I feel going down the line, we might see Fred being featured a lot, especially. Not really sure about McTominay. I definitely feel like, as Vidit pointed out earlier, there'll be a lot of rotations coming in around, right? So a lot of opportunities coming in for Van de Beek. A lot of opportunities, I believe, coming in for both Telles and Shaw to come into the picture. We still haven't seen a lot coming from both of their end, especially from what we had imagined earlier. Going down the line, especially in the attacking front, we've only kind of seen a glimpse of what Telles is capable of this season. in terms of his crossing, in terms of the left foot. He has a sweet left foot coming down the line, right? But we still haven't been able to see that kind of a thing coming in. Diogo Dalot probably gets his opportunities going down the line. He was really, efficient at AC Milan last season. He was kind of getting in crosses to Ibrahimovic, and we saw a lot of him going down the line. I still haven't been able to see that kind of a role over here. I still do have a question in mind, like how do we go ahead and how will Ralf go ahead and manage the front three, or probably the attacking front? We still have quite a huge pool of players over there. There's Lingard, there's Rashford, there's Sancho, there's Bruno, there's Pogba also who can go and play over there. There's Ronaldo, obviously. There are a lot of players, and that's the only kind of a question mark in my mind. Like how will he go ahead and manage these kind of players? In what positions will they play in the gegenpressing role, especially?
Personally, I believe that the main concerns that I have is how does he make the best of Cristiano or from Martial, because they have been criticized a lot for their lack of off the ball move. Personally, I believe that these two will be some players I'd love. I'm very intrigued as to how he coaches these players and what their roles will be. I believe that Cavani is somebody who topped our forward line for pressures. Rashford very good at pressing. He has a good disciplinary attitude when it comes to pressing. Again, Greenwood, same with Sancho. I believe Sancho would be somebody who would be coming into similar to Marcel Sabitzer, coming into the winger attacking roles. Yeah, maybe a attacking midfielder, but on the wings, not exactly a winger per se. And I believe that we might see a variety of forwards being dispatched. Even with like the kind of midfield we have right now, maybe the best thing would be to pack the midfield with players such as Bruno, Van de Beek, Fred, and like these kind of players that could probably have a disciplined role, and even Pogba with his long range passing. It could be anything, The thing is that with as many good players as we have, we've already seen this with Manchester City. The Pep roulette, all right. He can field a starting 11 full of any players, all right. He could play Bernardo Silva on the right wing or in the center midfield, and he'll perform, right? We need that at United as well. We don't need to know. See, the thing with Ole was before every team sheet was announced, I knew Maguire, Bruno, as well as Ronaldo.
We knew the starting 11. We knew the
starting 11, right? We knew if Rashford was fit, he'll be on the left wing, all right? We knew that even though we signed Sancho and Rashford is out, Sancho will never play on the right. Sancho was playing on the left of the left, right? Anthony Elanga, such a good player in preseason, scored goals, took his chances, did everything well, all right? Should have been introduced. Elanga on the left, Sancho on the right. Would have done good for Elanga. Elanga couldn't go out on loan. Now he's not in the first team right now. He's not getting as many opportunities. And you can see how the entire opportunities and the entire morale of the squad has gone down. Because false promises is something that a manager should not be making, right? Diogo Dalot, Jesse Lingard, amazing players who could like have a future. Diogo Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka could provide two different dynamics. Dalot with amazing crossing, right? Wan-Bissaka with great defensive skills, right? Good at dribbling, nice at getting out of situations, and fairly decent, right? Overall, Diogo Dalot might benefit the most out of Ralf Rangnick coming in, because with his high pressing system, he might not have to induce in as many one-on-ones as he initially had to. Because against Villarreal, whenever he had to get into one-on-ones, he was torn apart by that.
He was
exposed, right? Alex Telles and Diogo Dalot might not be the best defenders out there, but yes, we have to remember they are defenders and they have a potential to like perform their role, right? They could be two amazing wing backs who could be playing for us. Additionally, players such as Pogba, who's been deployed into the pivot, who's been deployed further upfield, who's playing off the left, off the right. The thing to know is that Pogba has always performed best when he has a defensive structure around it. Ragnick, as the coach and the master and visionary he is, right? I believe that he can recognize that and might give Pogba the room to, go further with the defensive structure around. But it's all.
Pogba probably can play the Sabitzer role, playing as a cam and dropping in deep whenever we play against lower block team in order to carry the ball forward. So I believe that there are various players that can benefit from Ragnick's involvement. Something that I would like to mention is VDB. Van de Beek is kind of player who can carry the ball from that pivot. So if you place Van de Beek with Fred, both have a higher pressing stature as compared to McTominay when compared the stats with McTominay. Van de Beek has a better stats in terms of pressing. So Van de Beek and Fred can be a good combination in that pivot with that high pressing attitude that they have, and Van de Beek's ability to carry the ball forward and his vision to pass the ball forward. Something that I would like to mention is Greenwood. So as you know that Ralf would keep on rotating players. The kind of philosophy or the method that Ralf plays under, the gegenpressing method. The thing is that players will be exhausted, and we will see a lot of rotation in general. We will see players like Sancho, Van de Beek, Telles, Dalot playing in that we didn't see under Ole. Ole kept a single team sheet, whether there's a 2-game week or a 3-game week. We usually saw a similar starting 11, but that is not sustainable under Ralf because of the high pressing attitude that we have. Greenwood
I think Ole discovered control C plus control V, and I think he took that too seriously.
Since we are talking about Ole, there's something that I wanted to mention. You can't discard the fact that the work that Ole has done. He was not that good, or he was not good at tactically, but he brought in good players. He brought in smart players. For the first time since Sir Alex left, we have players who can play under various managers. The kind of players that Mourinho and Louis van Gaal brought, they weren't that good of players. You look at Damian, you can't. He was like discarded by Mourinho at the first season itself. You look at other players that Louis van Gaal signed. You look at the players that Ole signed. No, I'm not even talking about the players. You look at the structure that Ole brought in. You look at the kind of academy players that Ole brought in under his tenure.
Hannibal.
Exactly. Hannibal and other players that Ole brought in under his tenure. Then the structural change that happened under Ole's tenure is something that Ole deserves the credit for. Probably we wouldn't be signing Ralf if it was not Ole, is what I believe. But then it was time to move on, and probably we did the right thing. Things didn't go well with Ole, but